I'm often asked, how do I begin my presentation? Let's talk about first burst. A first burst is how you begin your presentation. It's launching you into your presentation. I can't tell you how long it should be because it depends on who you're speaking to and what you're speaking on. Yet the first burst should do two things: capture their attention and keep their interest. The first burst should be memorized, choreographed, rehearsed, practiced enough so that you have all the things working for you. When you stand up, you really nail the first part of the presentation. It gets you out of the blocks. It gets you out of the starting gate. There are ways to do this. I'm going to give you several samples. You may come up with your own, but there are a lot of ways to launch into your presentation. Let's start. I'll give you an example of, I was listening to Mike and Mike on ESPN the other day. They asked this question: what percentage of NFL teams that score first win the game? 76%. What does that mean to us today? We need to get off to a fast start. We don't want to play catch up. That may be a way of preparing. That may be a way of talking about how to stay ahead of the competition. That may be a way for you to have your first burst. Another way is quotable quotes. Zig Ziglar has always said, you can have everything in life you want if you will just help enough other people get what they want. Today we're going to talk about how to move forward together as a team. That may be a way of doing it. You can use humor. I use this a great deal when I'm introduced and I want to poke a little fun, not menacing, but just a little fun at the introducer. I will say, thank you, Ralph. Folks, get to know Ralph Watts. He's your senior vice president. Get to know Ralph. Interesting guy. His brother-in-law is a veterinarian who's also a taxidermist. That's right. He's got a sign above his door that says, either way, you get your dog back. Now, a little known fact about Ralph. Ralph is one of 9 children raised in a 3-bedroom home. He was telling me before the session started, it was so crowded when he was growing up, he never slept alone until after he was married. Ralph, I appreciate the invitation today. That may be a way to tell the audience, let's have a little fun today. Don't be afraid of using statistics, stories, humor, quotes, poetry to let people know that you're real, that you're going to have some fun, but you also have a message. I love what Muhammad Ali once said. He was talking to a group of school kids. He used really a poem by Nipsey Russell, but he said, go to school and stay until you're through. Because if they can make penicillin out of molded bread, think what they can do with you. Today we want to talk about potential. Now that's a great way to launch into potential. You're using names, you're having some humor, but it also connects to your point. First burst. Have several first bursts that you can use to launch yourself into your presentation. Practice those. Choreograph those. Don't be afraid to use them.